On this week's show, we've got League of Legends highlights, gaming news and previews, plus we've got more Rocket League tips and tricks, a review of Grounded, and an exclusive interview with the indie game developer behind Rising Star 2. For joining us on a brand new episode of State Champs Esports. We've got an exciting and jam-packed show, but before we get started, let's show some love for our sponsors, Lawrence Tech, Army Michigan, and Hungry Howie's. We're going to kick off the show with some news from the recent DC Fandom virtual event that has helped fill the Comic-Con void for all those superhero fans. Sprinkled among the many TV and movie panels were two big game announcements. The big tease going into the event was that Rocksteady would have details about a new Suicide Squad game, and they did not disappoint. Kill the Justice League will arrive in 2022 for next-gen consoles and PC, and will feature up to 4-player co-op mode.
Are we supposed to be killing again?
The other reveal is for Gotham Knights from WB Montreal, which takes place in a world where Bruce Wayne is dead and his crime-fighting partners must protect the city. Nightwing, Robin, Batgirl, and Red Hood all take center stage in what seems like a must-buy for Batman fans everywhere. The game is slated for a 2021 release on both current and next-generation systems. For anyone who's been over to our Twitch channel lately, you've noticed that we've started up a new live stream series dedicated to mobile gaming. So far, we've played some mind-blowing titles like Sayonara Wild Hearts, Skate City, Pac-Man Party Royale, and much more. Of the several new games coming out this week, here are a few that we are most looking forward to playing. Up first is Jump Force Deluxe Edition coming out for the Switch. This crossover fighting game features 50 playable characters from several manga series. Next is Wasteland 3, which is the latest installment in the series that started back in 1988. Reviews have been very positive for this squad-based role-playing game. And finally, we've got Madden NFL 21. To celebrate the release, we've put together a brief history on football video games.
Jackson gonna take it himself, spins inside the 5, dives for the end zone, touchdown Ravens!
For gamers who were around to see the first rudimentary attempts at a digital translation of America's favorite sport, today's Madden video games would literally blow their minds. But designers had to start somewhere, right? And that distinction goes to 1972's simply titled Football for the Magnavox Odyssey home console. The very first football arcade game didn't come along until a decade later. 10-Yard Fight offered a huge advancement in graphics, but the gameplay remained very basic. Unlike the first PC game, 1985's NFL Challenge, which allowed players to act as a coach and run plays selected from a series of menus, the outcome of the plays was determined by the strength and weaknesses of the competing teams. The real game changer in these early days was Tecmo Bowl, which made its debut in the arcade but reached peak popularity on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Tecmo Bowl was the first console game that partnered with the NFL, so you could pick your favorite players of that era, like my personal favorite, Bo Jackson. The game also blended exciting gameplay with offensive and defensive play calling during the course of an entire season. In 1988, right on the heels of Tecmo Bowl, came the very first iteration of Madden Football from Electronic Arts. The game offered unprecedented customization, but was limited by the lack of both an NFL license and the ability to play a full season. The turning point came when the sequel was developed for the 16-bit Sega Genesis and arcade action was prioritized. The game went on to sell almost 500,000 copies and ensured a future for the long-lasting franchise. The 90s saw an explosion of football games, and one of the best was NCAA football. The series began as Bill Walsh College Football in '93 and was developed by EA as a complement to their Madden series. NCAA football included many unique features, including Dynasty Mode, recruiting, and included archaic offenses like the triple option. The series ran until 2014 when the NCAA decided not to renew the license due to a legal dispute with college players. The winner of the most controversial football game ever goes to NFL Blitz from Midway, which was the home of Mortal Kombat. So it should be no surprise that the Blitz series featured over-the-top extreme violence. The NFL, however, was not happy, and some of the more disturbing elements, like the vicious late hits, were toned down. After 9 different games were released, the original series came to an end when the NFL gave an exclusive license to EA. And now, what many consider to be the greatest game, ESPN NFL 2K5.
3rd and goal.
Sega launched the series in 1999 for their Dreamcast, and by 2004, they were the only real competition facing Madden. In a bold move, Sega slashed the price of their game in half, but it ultimately backfired as EA moved to secure an exclusive deal with the NFL to protect their franchise and effectively end all competition for Madden. Today, football gaming has even entered into the world of esports with the Madden Challenge, where professional gamers go head-to-head for serious cash and, of course, the championship belt. Who would have ever predicted anything like this? What a long, strange journey it's been.
Let's keep the esports train rolling with a fresh batch of Rocket League tips and tricks that will help you up your game.
What's going on, State Champs Esports Nation? Kevin back with you for another one of my tips and tricks in Rocket League. And this week's tip is what I call advanced defending. Instead of your traditional way of staying in the net like a goalie, keeping up your momentum is crucial for a nice clear out of your own zone, while keeping your eye on the ball, moving from one short side to the other in your own zone. I like to use the wall here so I can conserve my boost if needed. Remember, the slower you are going, the smaller the hit will be on the ball. What are you waiting for? Start practicing your moves for the upcoming High School Rocket League tournament today. We'll have more details on that soon. To stay up to date, click that like, follow, or subscribe button right now.
Helpful insight as always. Thank you, Kevin. And now let's take a look at the new survival game, Grounded.
Chuck back with you for another game review. This time we're taking a look at Grounded. You have the option of 4 player characters in this first or third person survival game, as you're shrunk down to the size of an ant and forces you to try and survive in your backyard while looking for answers of why and how to get back to normal. It is filled with plenty of obstacles to overcome, possibly and most importantly is making sure you don't start losing health due to hunger or dehydration. Oh, and make sure you avoid some of the scarier bugs out here too. Ants and ladybugs are fine as long as you don't go all aggro on them, but gnats, weevils, and yes, spiders will attack you if you get close to them. Don't worry though, if you don't like spiders, the game has a mode where they bring them down to size without nerfing them completely. You can craft weapons, food, shelter, tools, everything you need to be able to survive in a scary overgrown backyard. A pebblet axe is the first thing you should build, that way you can chop down some grass, weeds, and clovers, which will help you out immensely. Also, the axe is a great weapon to start off with, along with a spear to try and keep some of those more dangerous threats a little further away. You can play this solo or group up with up to 4 friends, which makes building your fortress a whole lot easier than cutting everything down yourself. As always, have fun and good luck.
All right, thanks, Chuck. It's always great getting your feedback on these games. Let's toss it over to our League of Legends guru, Joel Graves, who has some playoff highlights courtesy of GG Leagues.
Joel here, and I'm going to talk about some great things happening in the esports industry with GG Leagues having their League of Legends semifinals in this last week. Here are some clips from the semifinals.
Speaking of setups, Kelly does the ulti up and they're waiting for him around the corner. They don't want that extra global in the midst. Here comes Volley though from the back line. They're getting pincered from the sides. Vlad is trying to come in as well. Ultis are getting blown left and right. The Galio ulti is not going to land on anyone, but it's going to be in the mix in the end. Lulu is going to get chunked out after losing her ulti. Alpha Boy is going to follow shortly after that. The kill is going to go over to Mordekaiser, bringing it into the death realm. It's going to get some extra damage in the end, but here comes Shen, slowly getting chewed out. Sonic Peach able to get a kill, but it's going to get shut down by the Caitlyn. But Vlad is able to get a kill on top of the Volibear. It's currently a Tracer now. Doggy's trying to chase after Escop, but not going to find anything.
Flash ulting in that team fight to try to disrupt the backline and still able to get out of there and pick up a couple of kills. So he is really trying to take this one over, as we can see some skirmishing in the top side here.
Yeah, Bobby Joe Green's going to pop his ulti to pull Logan in there as Afro Boy's just around the corner. We've seen this fight play out before, but it looks like Bobby Joe Green's able to get a kill in the end. He's able to get the double.
Man, stacked in bush here. They are unseen as they're going to get on Ice Slippery. He's going to dash away.
The fight is going to begin. The ulti is going to get popped. Ice Slippery losing a lot of health. He's going to take down Meslo. He's looking legendary right now. The ulti's going to miss, but Bear's going to take down that horse. Mr. Black is going to fall. Uglin is left alone. Nuez is on top of the inhib. Going to take down the next one, but Uglin is looking low. Not looking pretty. Get a pop the heal, but is going to get pulled away. Bear is dominating as Nuez is trying to fight down this Chia right now. The fight from earlier is looking pretty tough right now. Chionzu is looking even beefier. Nuez does not know he can do it, but he wants to give it a shot. Chionzu is looking low. He's going to take down Chionzu, but the rest of the time, the Baron is going down in the end. Nuez is trying to do something, trying to put some objective power somewhere, but in fact, he's leaving this Baron low. Scrim is waiting around the wings, though. Vision surrounding them is almost crystal clear. Apting is around the corner, though. Looking for the ulti, diving right in. The smite's not going to happen. It's going to land on top. Meslo is able to get a kill as Apting is going to go down. Another kill over as well. Scrim is able to pop up with these ultis. It's currently a 1v2. They're going to win it overall. Shutdowns going all around. And that Ezreal is going to pick up a nice ace.
Those were some amazing semifinals clips from GG Leagues. Make sure to go check them out. And that's it for me. And it's back to Candace.
All right, thanks, Joel. Now up next is an interview I recently had with Todd Gillespie, an indie game developer from Austin, Texas, who recently released Rising Star 2.
So tell me like a little basis on what I can expect in the game, who I am as a character, and what the main objective is.
It's a simulation game set in primarily rock rock industry, music industry type of scenario, rock, metal. The original game had 9 different genres, and I just decided let's just take out the genres, and you can really imagine your band as whatever genre you want it to be. But the soundtrack and a lot of the attitude is definitely like rock and metal. So you start out, it's kind of a cross between a role-playing game and a simulation. It's a simulation and management game because you have to manage a lot of finances and make a lot of decisions to progress along the way. But it's like a role-playing game because you create a character, create what they look like. There's 6 different skills and there's experience and levels. And as you do things, you get experience and level up, and then you get more skill points and you can assign them to the skills however you want.
It sounds incredible. I'm really excited now that I've got some more information on it, and I'm even more excited to definitely put a link under our show, because I have a feeling that this is so much different than a lot of the games that we've kind of featured so far. And I almost feel like you could even take the inspiration that you got from playing music to make the game and almost inspire someone to flip it around. But
I think a lot of the fans, a lot of the players and the fans of the game are actually musicians themselves, but kind of like me, like just casual, like for fun musicians, not professional musicians. Or maybe they play in the weekend and get paid $50 or something. But there's that, people who are like 50 years old who used to be musicians like 20 or 30 years ago and are just kind of like reliving the memories of what they did before. Or there's people who are like 20 years old or something like that who are just getting into it thinking they've always wanted to play guitar or something like that, but they never had the opportunity or whatever.
I'm super excited that we got to have you on the show, and I got to hear all about how Skill Games got going and how you founded it and how you got to where you are. We always love giving people inspiration that, game development is an option. Like, you can do it and make it a career. So
yeah, thanks for having me on. I'm always happy to talk about it, and I actually like to talk about to younger people who are interested in getting into it. A lot of people really have a lot of questions, and I like to help. I've actually thought about making kind of a series of tutorial videos to help people, and it's just, there's so many things I'd like to do and just not enough time.
Well, then we will definitely be reaching back out to you. I'm sure that we'll be doing some more segments on that, and I'm sure that we'll want to get to hear about how Rising Star 2 is doing maybe a few months down the line. So we will stay in contact.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it's doing 3 months from now.
Yeah, I know. I wish you the best of luck.
Well, I know that the game is continuing to be updated. Like I said, a lot of people have suggestions, and I'm implementing a lot of ideas and continually improving it. So as long as people are playing it and buying it and involved in the community, I'm going to be there, working on things. So it's not going to be the same game 3 months from now as it is today.
And with that, we are out of time for this week. I'd like to personally thank you for watching and ask you to join us next week. In the meantime, do us a favor and check out Lawrence Tech, Army Michigan, and Hungry Howie's. Bye for now.